Who are these people?
Tell you something, brother!
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these people?
Don't be rude.
Hey guys, don't be rude.
Wrestling talk, whatever episode this is. I'm Andrew Rivera, of course, your host, alongside Mrs.Witchy Perfect for another episode. So, hope everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I mean, Thanksgiving this past Thursday, obviously, here in the U.S. at least. So, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was really good. I got to spend time with my son and my man and my father and my mother who invited herself, but it was a peaceful time.
Okay, good. Yeah, for me it was, nice. I cooked most of the food. We ate it, so we hung out. So it was just a nice
Get out! You had
experience
to
all
cook
around.
the turkey and everything.
Turkey and rice, and the
Oh,
other handled everything else. But
oh,
yeah, that's probably the most important things. So
I was gonna say I
yeah,
made the filling and the mashed potatoes, but my dad he handled the turkey.
okay, nice. Let's see. So yeah, we're here to review Survivor Series War Games, which happened last night. Last night. And
Mm-hmm.
AEW Full Gear was the Saturday before that. When we were on the air, we kind of we very briefly we previewed it, but but yeah, it was so there was a wow. This is so we're gonna talk about both shows. I mean, I didn't watch Full Gear, but we're at least gonna give you some results.
Okay.
And we're also gonna review and discuss Survivor Series because there's a lot there. So let's see. Let's start with Full Gear since that'll take us only a few minutes. So look at there were 12 main show matches and
Oh
3
my
pre-show
god!
matches.
Oh my
So
god!
a total
This
of
is like
15.
6 hours.
A total of 15 matches in this card. 3 pre-show matches and
Jeez.
looks like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 9 main matches in the pay-per-view. For a total of 12. Yeah, 12 matches. So it wasn't
Crazy.
15. I made a mistake. It was 12. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. WWE settled to a strategy of 5 matches on their pay-per-views Just that way, they don't tire out their audience.
Hmm.
Because as everybody, if you see, especially WWE, the audience is a lot more into it because there's less matches and there's less things to react to. People get tired. A lot
Yeah,
of
I
these
mean,
AEW pay-per-views over 4 hours long. People get tired.
I
No
was
matter
gonna
how,
say, is this like what 6, 7 hours of just matches? What the world?
yeah. And they're all these matches over 15 minutes, except for one. No, yeah, two actually. Well, those are pre-show matches, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, let's just kick this out of the way real quick. Anna Jay defeated Diana Perrazzo by pinfall in the first pre-show match. Look at Diana Perrazzo falling all the way to the pre-show after all the junk she talked when she first signed with AEW. Pre-show. All right, Buddy Matthews, Rhea Ripley's husband, defeated Dante Martin, Commander, and the Beast Motos by pinfall in the pre-show.
So he's fallen too, I guess, or has
Yeah,
he always been pre-show?
well, he's in the House of Black, and
The House of Black.
lately they haven't been used that much. Anyways, it seems like Alistair Black, Malachi Black is on his way back to WWE. It seems like. And the reason
Huh.
why I called him Alistair Black because that's what he's called in WWE. So that's why I accidentally called him Alistair Black. But all right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the third pre-show match was that YouTuber Big Boom AJ with Big Justice and the Rizzler defeated QT Marshall with this Ace Space Academy by pinfall, whatever that is.
Question mark.
And the kid, the Rizzler, speared QT Marshall, and he sold it like it was devastating. So literally a kid. He's like 10 years old.
Jeez.
And he sold it like it was Roman Reigns spearing him or something. It's ridiculous. And meanwhile, AEW talks about how we want to be sports-based wrestling when they first started.
How can you be sports based when you have a 10-year-old or one that looks like one spear someone who is somewhat of a star, right? I guess that's their star.
QT Marshall, I think he's I guess he's one of their trainers. He's not really he's a wrestler, but he mostly trains the younger talent. Not trained because they're not doing a good job of it.
Right.
I'm
So you have someone who's more experienced.
Yeah.
Let's put that in quotations, more experienced.
Yeah.
And you have like what, a 10-year-old come and oh my God.
Yeah.
Hi,
ACBC,
CBC.
thank you for joining us. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. He sold it like it was Roman Reigns spearing him or something. It was like one of the worst things I've ever seen. All right, so that's a joke and a waste of time. Let's get to the main card. Four-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team title. Private Party defeated the Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne, the Acclaimed by pinfall. Malachi Black and Brody King, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn are the Private Party. So I didn't know this, but the Bucks dropped the tag team titles for Private Party, and they've gone away now. They're gone away now because they want to be NWO. Angle didn't get over, so they're in hiding.
Of course it didn't. But then again, how can we miss you if you don't go away, right?
Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't drop the tag team titles for the longest time, and I was like, oh shit, we're not over. Let's just drop these belts and get the fuck out of here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best that they could do at this point. This angle is not working out. So you need to regroup and figure out something else because it's not working.
Nah. All right, so the next match, MJF defeated Roderick Strong by submission in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. So what happened with the MJF Adam Cole match? I'll never know because they've been building this match over a year now, and this rematch and hasn't even happened yet. And now all of a sudden, it's Roderick Strong against MJF. Roderick Strong is Adam Cole's friend. They're all friends. Him, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole, and Bobby Fish did the Undisputed Era in NXT. So that's when Adam Cole was the most over.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been that over since he got to AEW. So Let's see.
The-
Interesting. If Adam Cole would have stuck it out with WWE, he'd be a big star in WWE right now because
See,
Triple H was
that's what I
booking.
think happens, and just like WWE, they want to milk this for everything it's worth. So it's MGF versus the friend of Adam Cole. I
Hmm.
almost said Michael Cole. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, and they love milking these angles. I don't know why, because people are just starting to get bored with it. It's like, okay, I'm done. We're done seeing this guy versus this guy. Now, can we see the Adam Cole versus, MGF?
This angle's dead. It started over a year ago, and Adam Cole got injured, and MJF got injured and went away for months. Now MJF comes back for a match and then goes away again to do his movie, so he's not
Yeah.
there anymore. So MJF doesn't give a shit. He got his money. He's doing Hollywood movies. That's all he care about. That's why he does whatever Tony wants him to do. It's like, okay, sure, doesn't matter to me. Uh,
Yeah.
let's see. The next match, Mercedes Moné, the champion, defeated Chris Statlander by pinfall for the AEW TBS Championship.
And it was like the lowest point of the show because nobody likes Monet. WWE got rid of her for a reason because she can't draw money.
What's funny is she and Naomi walked out of WWE when they were women's tag team champions. And Triple H didn't really even attempt to bring her back once he took over. So he brought back everybody, all his former NXT crew, everybody, except for Mercedes. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, he even gave Naomi a second shot.
Yeah, he brought her back
second
after he
shot.
walked out. Yeah, after
I
she
mean,
walked out.
that's very telling. That should
Mhm.
tell you guys that Monet, she ain't nothing. She ain't nothing.
Mhm.
She's garbage. So is
Yeah.
AEW.
Steven Chambers, thank you for joining us. Camille's going to beat Mercedes. Oh, that's another angle they filmed on the Dynamite after the pay-per-view. Camille separated. Her bodyguard separated from her.
I mean, she wasn't really being used anyway. So what's the point of being a bodyguard for someone who sucks and can't draw money?
But that's the thing. That angle should have been done over months. Instead,
Yeah.
they did it in 6 weeks. And nobody cares because they weren't together long enough people to care. It's not like
almost like the Diesel and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they were going for.
They were
But
bodyguards, and then they were friends, and then they weren't.
But that took over 2 years before Diesel turned on Shawn.
Okay.
Because when did Diesel debut? I'm trying to think.
Like in June of '93, like June, no,
93.
like July, July, August.
By 95, Diesel Kevin Nash was WWF champion. So
right.
So
and as
it
Jim
like 2
Cornette
years.
said, the worst WWE champion never happened. That's just what Jim Cornette says. Don't beat me up. You Kevin Nash fans, don't beat me up. That's what Jim Cornette said.
Yeah, but to be fair,
I can't. Go ahead.
To be fair to Kevin Nash or Diesel, I mean, nobody could draw in 95. I don't think anybody could have drawn. That's how terrible the business was at that point in general. I don't think Hogan could have drawn. Hogan probably could have drawn, but there's very few guys that would have drawn in 95. So what Vince was doing is like 7-footer, 320 pounds, no steroids, natural, put the belt on him. Because at the time they were serious about the steroid testing after what happened in 92. So with the steroid trials. So
well, and this just goes to show that, like, yeah, I mean, I honestly, and I've had this come up, like I've had this subject come up. People have asked me this many, many times. They're just like, oh, well, what would have happened if Vince had turned Hogan heel? Well, the first thing, I think Hogan was sort of still in Hollywood. Wasn't he doing Thunder in Paradise?
By 93, yeah, I think he was. Because that's where
95.
Oh, 95. He was in WCW.
95. He was in WCW. Okay.
Yeah, doing that what was that angle Kevin Sullivan put him in? The Dungeon of Doom.
The Dungeon of Doom. Okay. But he was in and out because I think he was still doing, wasn't he still doing movies and Thunder in Paradise at that point? Yeah,
he's doing Thunder in Paradise at that point.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if Vince had turned him heel, Hogan wasn't around. Hogan was out in Hollywood with his Hollywood buddies.
Thunder in Paradise started in 93, late 93, 94. So
yeah, and he was a big part of that show. So I mean, I don't foresee Hogan being around in the wrestling business, even if you would bring him back to WWE at the time, WWF. I just don't see if, even if Vince had turned him, I just don't see a good run there
I don't.
because
He
he
would.
was still doing that Hollywood, get up, and he was making lots of money off of those
Uh,
movies and Thunder
he,
in Paradise.
yeah, don't tell Terry that because he insisted to be WWF champion after WrestleMania 9, even though he was pretty much out the door by that point.
Yeah, I mean
Don't tell Hogan that.
that was a slap in the face to Vince, really, because
And to
Vince
Bret
believed
Hart.
him. Yeah,
And Bret
and Bret
Hart.
Hart.
Yeah.
And Bret Hart, yeah.
Because that's how he sold the angle to Bret. I mean, I'm sorry to be getting into this, but real quick, Vince was like, "Oh well, we're gonna put the belt in Hogan." Bret Hart was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, this is what we're gonna do, though. Don't worry. We're gonna do a match: Bret Hart versus Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam, and and Hogan's gonna submit to the sharpshooter." And I'm like, why would Bret Hart believe this? I don't know if he believed it or not, but
Well,
like, did
at
you
this
did you
time,
talk
he
to
probably
Terry
still
about it?
believed in Vince, yeah.
Did you talk to Terry about it? Oh, no, pal, but he'll agree. Don't worry about it, pal. And that was it. And
And then
then
when he didn't,
a few days later, he's like, yeah, he kind of didn't agree. It's like, oh, no shit. Why did Vince think he would agree? He'd get him to agree to that. I don't think Hogan ever submitted to anything until like late in his WCW run, maybe. But even then, I don't think he ever tapped out to anything. All right.
he submitted to Piper 3 times in
Oh, that.
WCW. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
So
when they were feuding in WCW.
right,
Okay.
they were feuding, and Piper had like a 3-to-1 ratio over Hogan. I remember because I don't know how they did this, or even if it's true, but it was kind of funny that they actually filmed Piper from Alcatraz, and I was like, "You do know Alcatraz is haunted, right?" I can't
Yeah,
imagine standing there like Roddy Piper. I'd be like, "Well, at least he could scare the ghosts."
yeah.
I
Piper
mean,
did
Piper
that.
was crazy. He
Yeah,
was
he did
crazy.
that. He did that vignette selling that match from
Oh
Alcatraz.
my
Like
god! I'm
literally.
like, you're at Alcatraz. You do know that's insanely haunted, right there, right, dude?
Yeah. All right.
I,
Let me
I
get.
wonder, like, in between filming that vignette, if like literally he heard or saw something. I wish I could ask him, but I'd have to have an Ouija board to ask
Yeah.
him. You know.
I, all right. Steven also says Mercedes could join the Hurt Syndicate. They keep her away from that angle. I mean, it's
I don't
pretty.
even know what the Hurt Syndicate
That's the
is.
Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin MVP group that just
Well, at
debuted.
least you have some veterans there that actually know what the hell they're doing.
I don't know. I mean, she's death to everything right now. So, comparing Camille to the Wardlow angle booking wise, yeah, what they've done with Wardlow. Is he gone again?
I have no idea.
But
I can't keep up with AEW because it's literally like, oh, this person's a champion. Now this person's a champion. That person was a champion, but now he's gonna be a champion again. I'm like,
he's
what?
have you seen Wardlow? Right, I assume you've seen him. This guy has
Yeah.
money written all over him. He has
Oh
these
yeah.
money. What and Tony is like jobbing him out to like guys that are like smaller than I am. Same thing with Powerhouse Hobbs. Same thing with a lot of these guys, who are big, who look like wrestlers and are money. Like if WWE ever had a hold of Wardlow versus Cody Rhodes, Wardlow versus Roman Reigns, Wardlow versus CM Punk. I mean, he'll be right up there, with those guys. Instead, it's like he's barely
Instead,
being
he's
used by
being
Tony.
wasted in a company that doesn't care about him, and a company that doesn't care about ratings, doesn't care about
Oh, Wardlow's injured.
storylines or
But,
telling storylines
thank you.
correctly.
Yeah, Wardlow's
And they
injured.
milk everything. They milk everything except for title changes, which seems to happen every single freaking time they have either a pay-per-view or like a Dynamite or Rampage.
Yeah, the next match on the card, Jay White defeated Hangnail Adam Page. Who cares? Let's see. Next match, Kyle Fletcher defeated Will Ospreay by a pinfall. Oh, did you see? Oh my God, this match was just so
No.
bad. It was so bad. And people are like, "Oh, this is one." Of course, since it's Will Ospreay, everybody will say 5-star match, 5-star match automatically.
No,
And
Dave Meltzer will say that.
and,
The rest of
and
us will go, it was shit.
I mean, and then there's infamous spots where Kyle Fletcher tombstone pile driver Will Ospreay on the stairs, steel stairs,
Yeah.
brought him back in the ring. He kicked out at 2. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, they just buried the tombstone pile driver.
Yeah, I mean, it's a non-factor now. So
And
why even do it?
meanwhile, in WWE, you have Kevin Owens giving Randy Orton a regular pile driver, and he's out for weeks now. He's been out since then.
He's been hanging around.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But
But
yeah, no, that's so true because like literally the Tombstone Pile Driver was supposed to be devastating. Look at Hogan and Undertaker, oh well, my head hit the chair. Your head wasn't even near the chair, Hogan.
You got
It
me,
was
brother.
nowhere near it.
He said as soon as he landed, like, you got me, brother.
But we all knew as soon as Undertaker did that Tombstone Pile Driver, it was over.
Hell,
That dude would never get back up.
Not even Hogan kicked out. Even though, yes, they had to have the chair there. Ric Flair put the chair there, and yes, he had to protect Hulk, but he kicked out.
Yeah.
That showed how devastating that move was supposed to be. And Hogan kicks out everything. He never got beat. Oh, ridiculous. So Kyle Fletcher defeated Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay has thoroughly buried himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they gonna push him back down the card now?
Yeah, I don't know what he's like. He wants to help other guys, and I'm like, dude, you're not even 40. You're not even like a legend. Like, who do you think you are trying to help?
You haven't been champion. You act like you've been champion. Oh, it's been such a great career. I've been champion 15 times.
Like,
you act like you're Ric Flair and you're only what, 27?
He's older than that, I think. Hold on.
28, 29?
Will 31.
Okay, so he is
31.
Okay.
So he's younger than I thought he was, honestly. I mean, he still has plenty of time. Actually, he may not have plenty of time. All the moves he does and all these ridiculous spots he does. I mean, he could be out the door.
You haven't even been champion yet, and yet you act like, oh, it's been a great career, everybody. See everybody later.
Let me put over some guys on the way out. No, he's not. He's in his prime still.
You're still in your prime. Where are you going? Are you going to Hollywood? Are you going to make a killing in Hollywood? Because I hate to break this to you.
That accent,
unless you have a plan B, you ain't going nowheres but down.
Yeah, with that accent, he got no career in Hollywood. You can barely understand what he says half the time. But
oh boy.
All right, so the next match is for the TNT Championship. Daniel Garcia defeating Jack Perry by submission. So now Daniel Garcia is a new TNT champion for no reason, basically. Yeah, I don't understand why he got this belt.
I don't even think Jack Perry should have had it.
No,
Jack Perry to me hasn't proved that he's a tough guy. He's what, 185 soaking wet?
He's Luke Perry's son, and CM Punk beat him up.
For real, beat him up.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, Luke Perry to me hasn't really, or Luke Perry, yeah, what's his name? Jack Perry.
Luke Perry's his father, the actor.
Jack Perry hasn't proved a darn thing to me. He hasn't proved that he's a tough guy. So why make him champ?
Luke Perry's famous for Beverly Hills 90210. He was the star of the show.
That's right. I never watched that show, but I've seen commercials for it.
Yeah.
And I'm not much for the remix either because I wasn't much for the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Jack Perry to me hasn't proved that he's a tough guy.
No.
So why is he the champ? Why would now Fletcher, right, is the champ?
No, Daniel Garcia pinned
Garcia, excuse me. Yeah. And Garcia, everyone was like, what's up with Garcia? They're going to make him the new face of the company or something. That's how it seemed, I guess.
Yeah, he's the guy that does that silly dance, like that, and he's not over with the AEW audience, so
he's humping air. Okay,
yeah,
good.
It's like a gay dance, he just does this, and it's over. He gyrates his hips too, so that's what he's famous for. But now he's the secondary champion next to the world champion. So I assume he's gonna get that world title push at some point down the line. Even though I'm bigger than him.
And these guys are just nothing. They're nothing. No. And yet you have a guy like Ospreay who's like, all right, everybody, see you, gotta go later.
Let me put over some guys like I'm 45 years old and a legend, like Randy Orton.
Yeah, like Randy Orton or Kurt Hennig or Bret Hart or something like that.
Makes no sense. All right, the next match for the AEW International Championship. Konosuke Takeshita defeated Ricochet by pinfall.
Oh, so Take a Shit got over on who's?
Again, this is the same Ricochet who left WWE because he wanted to prove
and he was bragging about it. He's like, "Oh, I'll see everybody. I'm gonna go, rip it up in the new one." I'm like, "You're nothing. You're nobody. You are nothing."
Tony signed him. And he's like, "I'm going to be a big main eventer. I'm going to carry the company and be the champion." They debuted him and what was it, a battle royal, and he didn't even get much attention either. It just
I mean,
at All
he's a
In.
nothing. He's a nobody. He's a wannabe.
I could tell Tony didn't really take him seriously. It's more like, oh, let me take this guy from WWE, give him a shit
And if
ton of
he were
money.
smart, he would have made him someone. But they're just playing around with this. This is just like an experiment.
And then on Wednesday, Ricochet lost to Claudio Castagnoli with the cheapest clothesline I've ever seen. It was just cheap. It was just nothing. It was like that. He got beat. I'm like,
I mean,
oh, he's
take
not a
a
main
shit.
eventer. Yeah, and
You
he
lost
lost
to
to take
take
a
a
shit
shit.
too.
You lost to take a shit. Well, I guess you are shit because I mean, look, you're getting beat by guys who are definitely not over as they should be. But I mean,
Sad.
that's just, I mean,
That's what
it's like
Ricochet
losing to a
wanted.
jobber. It's like,
Yeah.
you lost
It's
to what was the one good jobber? I mean, other than the Brooklyn Brawler, Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz.
Barry
Maybe something like-
Horowitz. Yeah, it's like losing to Barry Horowitz. Everyone knew he was a jobber, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and what was amazing, I'm not sure I remember this because it caught me so off guard. It was a SummerSlam where Barry Horowitz actually won a match. He beat
Yeah.
who was it? Why am I forgetting his name? Sonny's husband.
Matt,
damn,
no.
uh,
Chris Candido.
Candido. Yeah, he beat Candido
He
in
lost.
SummerSlam.
Oh my god, he beat Chris Candido.
And that got a huge pop that night. I was like, "Whoa, Barry actually
well,
won!"
because yeah, everyone knew that Barry Horowitz was a jobber and if you couldn't beat him, then you were pretty shitty. You
Yeah,
were the shits.
If you beat him by roll up, he just rolled him up. But yeah, it got a huge pop. I think it's a SummerSlam '93 or '94, one of those SummerSlams. But all right, the next match on the card was Bobby Lashley with MVP and Shelton Benjamin defeating Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana by technical submission. So he put him to sleep, in other words.
Kind of like Gunther did. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, it's something. It's an improvement.
Arguably,
Oh my god, I can't believe I said that about AEW.
Arguably, is probably the best match on the card because it's Bobby Lashley and he's a professional. So
yeah, and he knows what submissions versus
he's
bullshit.
He's a two-time WWE champion. He was over as WWE champion. It's just that again, once the switching bookers, certain guys don't get used. So Bobby knew Triple H wasn't using him. So I was like, let me just go over here and make a bunch of money, and then come back in 2 or 3 years into my retirement run. So
yeah.
It's
kind of
like
John Cena, but John Cena never made the switch because John Cena was intelligent and not enough to not want to put his body on the line for bullshit.
Yep. All right. So in the main event of the evening, for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, we have Jon Moxley, the champion, with Marina Shafir, defeating Orange Cassidy by pinfall. That was the main event. Yes, that was the main event on the pay-per-view.
But a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Orange Cassidy's going to win." How? Why? Why would you want Orange Cassidy, who couldn't hold a jockstrap, to anybody? I mean, you had Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, who two people who know how to wrestle because they were actually in WWE and very pretty much successful in WWE. That was the best match on the card. This was just utter shit. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Why the hell would Orange Cassidy get a title shot? Explain this to me because I don't understand. All you AEW fans, why would they have this happen? And how could you not see the writing on the wall that Orange Cassidy wasn't going to win because they don't want him to be the face of the company because he's the shits. But then so is Jon Moxley. Moxley is also the shits. I'm Jon Moxley.
If you go back to his WWE run, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't great, but he was good. He was decent. He can give you a good match. And his character was when he's Dean Ambrose.
I thought you were talking about the other guy. I'm like, was the other guy Orange Cassidy in WWE?
Orange Cassidy never. Vince McMahon would like Orange Cassidy for about 6 months. Probably would use him for 6 months and then fire him. Not for 5 years, the way Tony Khan's used him, but because Vince would try to get a kick out of the character, had his hands in his pockets and did fake ass kicks. He'd probably get a kick out of it and use him for a few months and then fire him.
Right, that's our little puppy pockets, right?
Yeah, yes, pockets, yeah. So, all right, so that's AEW Full Gear.
I give it pretty much all the matches except for one. I give -10 stars. I do a 1 to 10 scale.
Yeah.
And I think that Bobby Lashley at least got -3 stars.
Bobby should be in that world title picture, making the champion.
Exactly,
But the
Bobby or
problem
Shelton
is
Benjamin.
the problem is that AEW fans are not going to like that because he's not AEW built. He's just a guy brought him from WWE, so
To
he
make the
probably
show
won't.
better.
He probably won't sniff the world title in his run. Maybe I'm
Because
wrong.
I hate to
Maybe
break
they
it to
will.
you guys. You guys are almost in the drain.
Yeah.
AEW is almost in the drain.
So let's get to Survivor Series War Games. This is the first pay-per-view Cody Rhodes has missed all year, so
Mhm.
he wasn't on the card, which
But they're
surprised
still
me.
teasing that whole well, actually they had a couple commercials for Saturday night's main event, and that's where they're going to have that
Yeah, Cody and
Cody
Kevin
Rhodes
Owens.
and
Kevin
Kevin Owens
Owens for the
match. Yeah.
title. Yeah. Which is, I think they saved that match for the Saturday night's main event show. That's why Cody wasn't on the card. All right, so there's only 5 matches here, unlike in AEW had 12 matches. But and the first match was the women's War Games match. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley was the fifth girl, by the way. Defeated the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae by pinfall. I forgot Candice LeRae was in this match. You barely saw her. All the bigger bodies there.
I didn't even know. First of all, I didn't know half these chicks in there. I give it 1 star because at least Rhea got her a revenge on Liv Morgan, which needed to happen because again, they took her out with the eye socket and stuff. She had that mask on. I thought that mask was pretty cool, kind of like Phantom of the Opera kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I called it, a Phantom of the Opera mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And it looked really cool. And then she took it off to say, hey, you didn't do the job fully. I was kind of like, oh, okay, cool. But 1 star because, I mean, this was just utter shit. They're finding shit under the ring. Guys, this is War Games.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 1997, shall we? Just briefly. We'll go back to 1997. When Kurt Hennig, first of all, I was waiting for someone in the men's War Games to shut the cage door on the other guy's head, but that didn't happen. I thought it would have been cool. I thought it would have been cool, but the only person they could have done it to is Sami Zayn because he was a Canadian. Anyway, what I expected was if we go back to 1997, pretend there was a women's War Games back then in WCW. You had the NWO versus the Four Horsemen. Okay, first of all, there wasn't 5. There wasn't 10 people in there. There was only 8. Okay, cool. So we'll take it back there. Back to 1997, we had 4 guys versus 4 guys. And guess what? They didn't use furniture, guys. They didn't look under the ring for furniture. And they weren't locked up in a fucking cage like they are fucking rats. That didn't happen. No, they hung outside the cage, and actually the advantage was actually done by coin flip. Why can't we have that War Games? You can't combine Survivor Series and War Games. That's why I kept saying, like, why are they trying to pin each other? They should be making each other trying to quit. Because that's how the War Games in 97 was, in 96, in 95. That's how War Games started, guys. They would have to submit. They would have to quit.
This is WWE version of War Games. It's not really what WCW did.
But you can't combine Survivor Series. Survivor Series was, once you got pinned, you were out. Not the whole team. You were just out. The individual was out because we watched SummerSlam 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. I mean, we know what Survivor Series is about. This is what pisses me off the most. I kept looking at my husband going, you can't combine them. You can't combine them. You can't do that.
Yeah, and they have, in all these women's War Games matches, not one has been good. And they've been doing it for 2 or 3 years now.
They literally were having shit matches with furniture. Guys, War Games was not about furniture. It was trying to make that team submit. Again, when Kurt turned to the NWO, I keep going back to this because it was worth watching. So you have, Kurt, if Kurt had not turned to the NWO and had just been in the Four Horsemen, you can erase that completely. But they still had 4 versus 4, and it was not about, pinning each other. It was literally about trying to make your other team submit.
Yeah,
like I said, you can't combine them. I want to see the real Survivor Series where 5 women and 5 men, or 5 women and 5 women on, and 10 people. This is how they started in Survivor Series.
Yes, they had 5-on-5 elimination.
Right. They had 10 men in the ring. And as we saw when my show watched along to Survivor Series 88, Kurt actually pinned one of the guys to, Jake the Snake, to be the sole survivor with Dino Bravo.
Yeah.
So that's what we have always known Survivor Series to be. When you got pinned or you were disqualified or counted out or whatever, you were gone. You go to the back. Now your other teammates take over.
Yeah, I'm guessing Triple H thought the Survivor Series traditional 5-on-5 elimination match was passe, and old. So he brought back War Games instead to do Survivor Series War Games.
I want the original Survivor Series back. If they were pinning each other and then, oh, well, so-and-so had to go to the back, fine. Or if they had done the original War Games, which is, okay, now all 5 women are in, or 4 women, or all 8 women are in the match. Now you have to make the other team give up.
Yeah.
And trust me, there was a lot of devastation. You didn't even need to use a chair. The NWO didn't even use a chair. They didn't use anything. They just, Kurt had handcuffs, but you can't count that. I get, but he wasn't using the handcuffs to beat the crap out of somebody with. They were using furniture, and it didn't make any sense.
To be fair, the AEW Blood and Guts match is their version of War Games, and they do the give up thing. One of the team have to give up in order to win, but they use chairs and tables and ladders, and in order to get, I think it was Jack Perry to give up. They had to set him on. They nearly set him on fire. So ridiculous, but
they used everything in this woman's War Games match. It was horrible. They used everything, even a freaking baseball bat. And you could tell it was fake. I'm like, that's so fake.
And Rhea Ripley took like 8 baseball bat shots, and
she should be dead.
And she popped back up, and he popped back up to beat up everybody, win the match. But
right,
it was silly. It was ridiculous.
But I loved her makeup. And they had a little scar right here that they put in a makeup.
It's silly. It was ridiculous. But it was like, oh, come on.
I give this, like I said, 1 star because I didn't see anything that impressed me about this match. Nothing whatsoever. Yep. I hated it.
Yeah, women's War Games
I was actually interested in it only because I wanted to see Liv Morgan get her comeuppance by Rhea Ripley.
She did.
And she did.
Yep.
But not the rest of it was absolute shit. I kept going, oh God, really? Yeah. You got to hit him with a chair? Oh, great. Now we got a table. Yes.
A female War Games match was 38 minutes and 15 seconds. They gave it a long time. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But the next match on the card was 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Shinsuke Nakamura defeating LA Knight to become the U.S. champion.
Yeah, I really didn't care. This is Shaky Nakamura to Jim Cornette. But he's come back with this new look, and he kind of looks like a Japanese horror show.
Yeah, they call him the psychotic samurai or something. I don't remember the exact
Is that why he looked like an old samurai coming, down to the ring? I was like, what is this, anime? What the fuck?
Yeah. And so I thought LA Knight needed to drop this belt because his momentum is kind of stifled, and he's still over, but it just didn't feel like the same once he was champion. So
I honestly didn't even watch it. I was actually eating. I'm like, I'm starving. I gotta go eat. I hate this match anyway. Go ahead. You were gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, LA Knight needed to drop this belt and maybe chase it. Maybe chase Nakamura for it. He's over when he was chasing Logan Paul for it, but maybe chase Nakamura for it or do something else. Maybe try to get in the Royal Rumble and win the Royal Rumble to become number 1 contender. He's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Chase a different title, instead of the U.S. title, which means nothing anymore. In WCW, the U.S. title was 1 step down from the world title. So if we go back again, we go back to WCW days. And for those younger viewers who watch us, again, if you don't know or you don't remember WCW, that's fine. They have archives. They have on Peacock. You can get it for $9. You can get a special Peacock for $5 or whatever. And you don't have to have commercials or whatever. But at least go back and watch the archives of WCW when they had this title. This title was literally just a step down, just like the Intercontinental Champion was a step down from the world title, from the world heavyweight, WWF heavyweight belt. So it's become like a non-issue. You don't get any steps up,
Yeah, it's just It's just
So
there.
I give this half a star because
And
I
now,
don't like any competitor. I didn't watch it and I didn't want to
yeah,
fucking see it.
and now it's like now they're introducing women's United States title and
Yeah,
women's Intercontinental.
Intercontinental champ. I'm like, no,
They have way too
stop
many
it.
belts in WWE now,
Yeah,
and
there's too many
they
belts.
got to retire the tag team title. They won't. I mean, because Bianca's still carrying it around, even though her partner's injured. So
Yeah,
they probably
Jade
won't
Cargill.
retire
Yeah,
it.
we
Yeah,
still
they
don't
won't.
know. Unknown.
Which is another thing they're building up towards. So to reveal who attacked her, but
Could it be Charlotte Flair or would she come back a
maybe.
babyface, you think?
No, I think she's far too over to be a heel. Because at this point, because she's been out for so long, people miss her. As soon as she
Yeah,
shows her
how can
face,
we
she's a
miss you if you
baby
don't
face.
go away, right?
As soon as she shows her face, she's a baby face. So to reveal
Okay.
her as the attacker is kind of, they're
Unless
not
they
going to
kind
boo
of do
her.
what they did with Rikishi. Remember that whole Austin angle? Oh, who ran over Stone Cold
Hmm.
Steve Austin, right?
Yeah, I
And it
remember
turned out
that.
it was Rikishi, but had help from Triple H.
Yeah, it was because initially it was a wet fart. Honestly, initially they revealed Rikishi as a mastermind. It's like, Then later they revealed it was Triple H who manipulated Rikishi into doing it. So it gave it oomph. But initially, it's just Rikishi, and it's like, Like, even Rikishi was like, "Why are you turning me heel? I was over as a babyface."
Yeah, I mean, really over.
Yeah, he's like, "Why?" All right, so the next match on the card was the Braun Breaker defeating Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser for the Intercontinental title by pinfall.
Wow. What can I say about this? Other than Braun is a beast. I
Yeah,
said it once, I'll say it again. He's a
he
beast.
this was arguably one of the best matches in the card. I mean,
And I give it 3 stars.
yeah, it
Because
was.
there's just some about it I didn't like. I don't like Sheamus. Dude, I think you need to retire. But I was like, oh my God, he's getting hit with that ukulele or whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah, that thing. Because
Yeah,
in
he got wailed
WWE,
on. Did you see his back?
yeah,
There were
in
like welts on his
WWE,
back.
WWE triple threat matches are no disqualification automatically. So
Lazy booking.
yeah, that's why they were using that weapon from. I think from the ref. I mean, that's why he looked at him. It wasn't like it was a mistake, that AEW
Yeah.
does. Like, oh well, it's a regular match, but guys use weapons from the referee and they don't do anything. So it's like
No offense to Kaiser.
wasn't
I
one of
just
them.
think that he needs a little more bulkiness. You know what I mean? He's lacking. I mean, his wrestling is good. It's
Mhm.
good. It could
Yeah.
be better. But I just think, he's so like toned, but not like muscular. You know what I mean? I mean, he
Yeah.
has muscles, but I mean, it leaves a lot to be desired, I think.
Yeah. All right, so the next match, Gunther defeated Damian Priest technical by submission for the World Heavyweight title.
Right. And again,
Excuse
I
me.
told you I think the new Judgment Day is going to come out and interfere. And
Which
of
they
course,
did.
Balor did. Yeah.
Yeah, because Finn Balor did say, "When you least expect it, I'll be there to screw you over again," and
Screw
that's
you
what he
over
did.
again. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Even though we were expecting, I'm guessing the WWE Universe was expecting a clean
Yeah.
match, which
Yeah.
didn't happen. But I mean, I give this 2 stars because I did like Gunther here. I saw the welts on his chest from the, slaps. I'm like, oh, wow, that had to hurt.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the Finn Balor coming out. I thought that was cheesy. And again, can't we just have one clean match? I mean, does everything
Gunther,
have to be shitty like
I'm
that?
kind of frustrated with Gunther's booking leading into this match. They were portraying him as unsure and weak, and he always got his ass kicked by Damian Priest before the match. I didn't understand why they were doing that. I mean, he was unconfident. He wasn't himself for no reason. He was
because it was of the Cody Rhodes thing.
Yeah, he
Oh,
lost
well,
to
you're
Cody
not a
Rhodes.
great champion. You're a champion, but you're not the champion. That was kind of like.
Yeah. Okay, so that kind of makes no sense. I forgot about that. I'm thinking, why is he looking him so weak all of a sudden?
Well, because again,
I
you're
understand
a
now.
champion, but you're not the champion. So you're not the face of this company. It's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I can see it from that point, but I mean, still, he's still a champion. You don't want to count him out. You don't want to make him look weak as,
And again,
he's been kind of having that look like, oh, I am kind of weak.
He beat Damian Priest twice, and each time it was interference by Finn Balor that helped him win. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Kind of burying
It
him
makes
as
it makes him look even weaker that he always needs help from Finn Balor. So I'm like, let's have a clean match. Why can't we? That's why I give it 2 stars, because I didn't like the Finn Balor, entrance. I didn't like that, where he comes out and he screws over Damian Priest. I thought that was dumb. Even though I'm not much for Damian Priest, I think Gunther was going to win anyway, even without Finn Balor. But I mean, still, guys, this is not going to help, because Damian Priest could come out tomorrow on Raw and say, well, you didn't really beat me. Finn Balor came out. Balor, excuse me. Again, and screwed me. So I want another match.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I assume he'll get one more match, and then. But the problem is he's already lost twice to Gunther. He's going to have to lose a third time. I'm not sure they're going to do that. They see Damian Priest as an important part of the company, so losing 3 times in a row to Gunther doesn't help him much. At this point, I don't know, it helps Gunther even. Maybe a clean win over Damian Priest would help him, but
I'm just saying that is a hypothetical. He could come out, but what I think they're going to do is they're going to have wouldn't it be kind of cool if they had a loser leave town match, kind of like Kurt Hennig and Ric Flair did? Not that Finn Balor should leave, but to get him out of his life. I mean, because Finn said, as long as you go for the championship, I'm going to screw you over. So he either has to injure Balor so that Balor can't come out, but then there's also the new Judgment Day. But I think they're going to push that new Judgment Day thing into Balor has to leave somehow and can't interfere with Damian Priest anymore.
Yeah, because the new Judgment Day is already sick of him. If you see Dominic looking at him, is like he's the next one to probably be kicked out of the group. So
right.
All right. Yep. So the main event now, let's get to it. The OG bloodline, which consists of Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk, defeated the new bloodline, consisting of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed.
And I remember saying to you, I was like, well, I mean, the baby faces won for the women, and they had won the advantage with Bailey helping out what's her name? Bianca. Thank you. Bianca. So of course they had to take the heel, or they had to let the heels win the advantage in the men's, right? So I thought it was going to be like that too. I thought it was going to be, the baby faces are going to lose because, the women had already won. The women baby faces had already won.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened the way it did. And I give it 2 stars because I didn't like the fact that they had furniture. And again, this whole, I like the angle with the CM Punk, Reigns doing
they're
this.
Teasing they're teasing kind of a match eventually. I mean,
they're also, I think, teasing something with Sikoa, Solo, somehow losing it maybe to The Rock. Like he could lose that. What is that thing around his neck?
Yeah, I know you're talking about the necklace. The Euphali, whatever. I can't even pronounce it, but
no, it's okay. But yeah, I think definitely that what we're seeing here is definitely Roman Reigns and CM Punk. But I mean, on the other side, Sikoa somehow is not that he's losing men. He's not losing confidence in that. I think he's losing, and I just think he would lose it to The Rock or something. Like The Rock is going to come back, and The Rock, he likes to milk everything as a baby face. So there's going to be conflict there.
I'm still kind of surprised he didn't show up last night, but
The Rock, right?
Yeah. All right. There's a few things that I liked about this match. CM Punk, the interaction between CM Punk and Roman Reigns was fantastic.
Right. He's
like, you saw towards the end when they were both in that shark cage, Roman Reigns going to come out, then Punk kind of shoved him. He went out instead. So.
Well, and I said to my man, because my man and I were watching it, I said, you watch, Roman Reigns is going to be the last one out. Which, because, I mean, I figured the same thing for Sikoa, Solo Sikoa. I expected him to be the last one in. And he was, of course.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was like, no. And no matter how they did it, I mean, he was the last one to go in. Yeah. I said to him, I said, you watch, he's going to be the last one out.
Yeah.
That's what I expected.
It just, and then towards the end of the match, did you see Bronson Reed coming off the cage? And
I said to you, oh my God, what are they, Jimmy Snuka?
Yeah, he tried to come off the top rope. I mean, the top of the cage, and land on. I forget who was on the
Roman
table.
Reigns. Roman Reigns, because it was CM Punk. He was like, "Get off, Roman."
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. The
And of
spot,
course,
and
they had to, for that match, they had to, bond that camaraderie. Hey, I'm gonna
yeah,
help you, brother.
yeah.
They at least
And
had to sell that. But I kept saying to you, I'm like, what are they, Jimmy Snuka? Come on, stop it.
so when Bronson Reed jumped to the top rope, he pulled an edge in Adam Copeland where at the cage, and because he landed right on his feet, and his ankle did that. I'm not sure you saw that, but
No,
his ankle did that when he landed. So chances
no,
are
no,
he
I wasn't
probably
looking. I
yeah
was
he
looking
chan
at, oh no, Roman Reigns.
yeah so yeah he hurt
Saved
himself
by
doing
CM
that.
Punk.
I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Why? First of all, why is he up there? I mean, he's not that good of an athlete.
Jimmy
And second of
Snuka.
all, again,
Everybody wants to be Jimmy Snuka, all right?
and secondly, the way he landed on his legs instead of landing on his chest through the table. It's just Adam Copeland broke his leg, and he's been out ever since. But
Well,
it,
we hope nothing has happened to Bronson Reed. But I think the thing is, the other thing I said to my man last night was like, there's no selling. Bronson and some of those women in the war games were not selling anything. They just popped right back up. And I
yeah,
know they're trying to milk this for Bronson Reed as a monster, but sell something. Sell anything. That's what you're
hmm
meant to do.
yeah, Jacob Fatu is a star, man. I mean, they already. I mean, I'm amazed at how good he is, and he just debuted, and he's already main evented like 2 or 3 pay-per-views since he's debuted already. So he's definitely the star of the new Bloodline
Did
group. The other
he
guy,
hurt himself? Because he was like, on the ankle.
it
I
looked
think he
like he
had
was
gotten
like.
smacked in the ankle or something.
It looks like he was limping around too. I mean, I assume he's okay,
Yeah.
but because I didn't hear anything about it. I saw him like I
That
didn't.
guy at the when he was like climbing the cage.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh my God, can you imagine a cop seeing that? I'm like, I don't think a cop would stick around.
Yeah, he went through.
First of
So
all,
yeah, the.
unless you're talking about like a jailhouse match, which was between Boss Man and the Mountie, and I wonder if the Mountie still get their men. But anyway,
Mhm.
I'm like, this is not a jailhouse match. What surprised me about the men's match is they locked the door. Guys, back in WCW, there was a top on the cage. If
Yeah,
they locked the door for any reason, that guy's not getting in. All I kept saying was, climb the damn cage, you idiots. I mean, really, you
yeah.
forgot that there was no roof on the thing? I kept saying to my man, I was like, just climb the damn cage. Let him climb.
Snow is
Hey,
here. Hey,
Snow. You hear me
yeah,
like going like this.
my GPU is 98% 98 Celsius. I think it's cooked. Yeah, you're the
Why are
computer.
you telling me this? Why aren't you trying to shut down your computer?
Mhm.
Anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, I was like, climb the damn cage, climb the damn cage, and he's like, I think I'll just climb. I'm like,
The
oh
man,
duh.
again, I don't really like these war game matches anymore. I liked them at first as like, oh, okay, there's something different,
I
but
liked
now
them
it's
in
like,
WCW. There was a
uh,
top on the cage. I mean,
yeah,
if they had actually locked the door in WCW, guess what? Kurt Hennig wasn't getting in.
hmm
There's no climbing the cage unless you can like stomp on the top of the cage
yeah,
and try
just
to get through. There was no getting through. But
basically, it's a hardcore match.
it was like a joke. It was like a
It was a
joke. It's
hardcore
like,
match in a cage.
you
That's
can't get in
essentially what
now,
it was.
motherfucker. I'm like, just climb the damn cage, Roman. Come on. I mean, no, it's like a
Yeah.
fence. You're climbing a fence, but he's still. I mean, and Sikoa was like, "How do you get in? How do you get in?" I'm like,
The
"Oh
right
my god."
the right team won, and I
Hmm.
don't I don't under. Solo has really grown into the role as the leader of the Bloodline. At first, I didn't take it seriously, and now it's like, or last 6 months, he's grown
Yeah,
into it. I mean, so
definitely, definitely.
and
He
I
has become that heel.
yeah
He's getting that heat now.
yeah
Now that he's like, "Hey, wherever they are,
mhm,
Cincinnati,
yeah.
acknowledge me," and I'm like, "Okay,
He's
no."
grown into that role. At first, I didn't take it seriously, and after WrestleMania,
Right.
I was like, ugh,
And
it's
he's
like,
getting that heat that
yeah,
he needs to.
yeah,
And I agree with you. It needed to be Roman to pin
hmm Sokoa,
Solo. I
Sokoa.
can't say it. I'm sorry. It needed to be Roman because I mean they had made Roman look like a bitch.
Yeah, he got beat twice by
I mean,
Solo and
really, like
pretty
a
convincingly too.
bitch. He got
Uh,
beat by like a bitch.
yeah,
I love the CM Punk, stare down again.
yeah.
As you said, they are milking that, and that's cool. I would like to see. I would like to
Like,
see a CM Punk Roman Reigns match.
that match
Though,
ain't gonna
no offense, I
happen.
think I'm going to go with CM Punk. I mean,
That
he's
match.
just when he brought in that toolbox, I went, "Oh boy, Drew McIntyre somewhere going,
Mhm.
no."
Yeah, in that match.
Because I said, ask Drew McIntyre about the stitches.
Yeah, that match isn't
Because he just
happening.
wailing on him with the toolbox.
I don't think that match is happening until like SummerSlam in the summer of next year because CM Punk and Roman Reigns will be busy with the blood. Roman's gonna be busy with the bloodline still, and CM Punk is gonna be
Right.
busy chasing the world title most likely
Right. I
against
think this is
Gunther.
not the
So
end of the
yeah,
bloodline feud,
they're
but
teasing. They're
definitely
teasing that
teasing.
match
Yeah,
for
they're
the summer
definitely
most
teasing.
likely
But
next
I
summer.
like the
Yeah.
hug at the end. I was kind of like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's so cute. CM Punk and Heyman hugged, and he said, you still owe me one.
See that
And Paul
face?
said, anything you want, I'll give it to you.
It's like I'll cash in that favor one day.
Yeah,
Just
I'll
be
cash
ready.
in that favor one day. And I think that's pretty awesome that,
Yeah.
were they friends back in the day?
Yeah,
Maybe like
yeah.
he managed him or something?
Yeah, Paul Lee managed CM Punk when he was a
Okay.
heel.
Okay. I
In
did
that
not.
400-day plus run that he had WWE champion.
Okay,
It was
cool.
Paul Heyman and CM Punk. And
Okay, cool,
that's
cool, cool.
when The Rock came back and beat him for the title after 400 plus days. So that
Okay.
was 10 years ago. And now The
All right.
Rock is doing it again 10 years later, trying to beat Cody Rhodes with the belt. So
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I hope that does not happen, though.
it
With The
shouldn't
Rock, you never know
happen.
because he's
Yeah.
the boss. He's the final boss.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
um,
Yeah.
Overall, I give this match 2 stars because I did like the whole angle that they did. I like the CM Punk saving Roman Reigns at the last second, but then you had Sami Zayn do on the other side. I was like, oh come on, guys, you guys are not Jimmy Snuka, okay? Even Jimmy Snuka wasn't Jimmy Snuka. He was probably high off
Yeah.
his ass. But the fact that you had, I mean, it's like in the women's when that what the hell's her name? She put the trash can over herself and then
Yeah.
dove off. And then on the other side, I think it was Bailey jumped off. I was like, oh
Yeah.
come on, stop it! You guys are not Jimmy Snuka,
Yeah.
and you're only going to kill yourselves trying to be Jimmy Snuka.
And by the way, that match killed. I mean, Jimmy Snuka lost that match. If people forget about that, he lost that match during Intercontinental.
Yeah.
He did lose,
So
even though he
stop doing
did.
shit you can't do. What Dusty
He
said.
did
Just
the
don't do
spot.
shit you can't do.
He did one of the greatest spots of all time, but ultimately he lost that match. People forget about that.
Well,
So
and jumping off of a 15 high foot, cage, it will, your mental state is not going to be good. Let's put it
yeah,
that way.
yeah. Start migrating over to Rumble. We're gonna be
Yeah,
able to
please
run
go
over
over
there
to
in a couple of
Rumble,
minutes.
hit that like button so you can,
Subscribe.
for the algorithm, because the algorithm does not like us. So if you could hit like and if you can subscribe and head on over to Rumble, Snow, I better see you there, but do not let your computer overheat because guess what? Your computer will not work anymore if you blow your motherboard. I'm telling you now. Okay.
He's saying that it's
You will
fried.
screw it up.
All right.
That's why it's warning you that it's too hot.
Alex
It's
will
trying
be
to save
on here in a
itself.
few minutes. So yeah. So that make sure you watch Angel in the afternoon on Friday, 7:00. We won't be back for Pro Wrestling Talk next Saturday, right?
Right. I have pictures with Santa with my son. So unfortunately we just won't have it next week. We're gonna figure out in 2 weeks, we're gonna figure it out, probably maybe Friday or something. We can do something Friday, maybe, but Sunday I have a special guest coming on. She's gonna do something special for Yule. So Saturday, what did I say? I have it's the pay-per-view, I think. There's something else. Oh, Saturday night's main event.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
the
want to watch
14th.
it.
That's the 14th. So we're not going to
I want to
be
see this
on
Cody
Saturday
Kevin
either.
Owens beatdown. I want to see Cody beat
Yeah.
down Kevin Owens.
So Pro Wrestling Talk is kind of all over the place the next few weeks. So just bear with us. And I would like to preview Saturday night's main event, but we're not going to be here next week, so we got to figure something
Sorry.
out. Whether doing it on Friday or something. Maybe I'll pop in an hour. I'm not sure you could do 6 o'clock on Friday before Angel in the afternoon, but we'll figure it out.
I think I can. I think I can.
Okay, if we could do
As long
that,
as
then we
my
could
boss
do.
doesn't want me to work.
Okay. Well, let me
Late.
know if he does, but yeah, I mean, if not, then we could do Pro Wrestling Talk at 6 to 7, and I'll do Angel in the afternoon from 7 usual time. And you want to stay, you could stay. It's up to you. I mean,
I will
so
definitely stay. Hi, Alex. Hi, little
because
brother.
it's a normal episode. Because last week I did or Friday I did the experiment with the video game that I played. So
Yeah, that was
it
pretty
went.
cool. I just had
It,
to leave. I was like,
yeah,
oh man, I gotta go.
yeah, it went well. Like, people liked it, so I might do more of that. But yeah, all right. Let me start migrating over to the other platforms. Have a nice weekend. See you Friday
And
for
if we
Angel in
don't
the
see
afternoon.
ya, we'll see ya when we see ya. Hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
So I would like to preview Saturday night's main event at some point. So because that's coming up. All right, let's end this.